welcome to IP Study Video Lectures. Today we will discuss the 14th chapter of Grade 8 English Grammar, and our topic is Verb Forms in Conditional Sentences. Conditional sentences talk about if something happens, what will or could happen as a result. There are 4 types of conditional sentences and conditional types, and each of these types have their own verb forms. Before the end of this lesson, you will be able to define conditional sentences and their structure involving if clause and main clause. Differentiate between the 4 types of conditional sentences, type 0, 1, 2 and 3. Explain the verb forms used in each type of conditional sentence. Let us study this small example before we read further in the chapter. If you throw the cup, it will break. Okay, mom, I will not throw it. Now the sentence with if. This is a conditional sentence. If something happens, what will or could happen as a result? If you throw the cup, it will break. This is an example of a conditional sentence. Let us read the following sentence. If she passes the exam, she will get a scholarship. If she passes the exam is the if clause, because this is the condition if she passes the exam. Now what will happen if she passes the exam? She will get a scholarship. This is the main clause. So there are 2 parts in a conditional sentence, which is the if clause and the main clause. Conditional sentences are used to show how one action depends on the other. The meaning of the conditional sentences depends on the verb forms, which have several different patterns. There are 3 main types of conditional statements, and they are called type 1, 2 and 3. There is also one more type, which is type 0, which we will study in this lesson as well. So type 1 is mainly if you do this, that will be the result. Type 2 is mainly if you did this, that would be the result. Type 3 is mainly if you had done this, that would have been the result. This is in simple present tense, simple past tense and the past perfect tense. I want you to read this beautiful conditional poem. It is just for fun and you can try creating your own as well. If I drink coffee, I'll stay awake tonight. If I stay awake tonight, I'll fall asleep in the morning. And if I fall asleep in the morning, my teacher will be very angry. This is like a chain poem and it is used by using conditionals. Well, you can try to make a similar poem at home as well. Let us understand the common pattern, which is type 0. So type 0 is if you do this, that is the result. That means this is the common pattern. If you do this, that is the result. So both the clauses are in simple present. The if clause and the main clause, they are both in simple present tense. If you heat ice, it melts into water. If you apply force to an object, it moves. Water freezes if the temperature falls below 0 degrees Celsius. If you eat too much sugar, you get cavities. So as we apply for simple present tense, the rules are same, that for universal truths or for something which is happening right now or which happens as a habitual action, we use simple present tense for them. Same is the rule for type 0. If you do this, that is the result. So if condition with the simple present tense, and the result will also be in the simple present tense. So both if clause and main clause, they will be in simple present tense. Type 1. Type 1 is again both if clause, simple present tense in the if clause and will base form in the main clause. That means both are in simple present tense, but the main clause is with will along with the base form. We can also use can or may in place of will in the main clause. If we leave early, we will get there in time. So here again, the verb is in the simple present tense and the if clause is also in the simple present tense, but we have used will along with the base form of verb. Alternatively, we can also use can or may in place of will. If it rains, we'll postpone the meeting. If she studies hard, she can get a first class. This is called an open condition, the condition which may or may not be fulfilled. That means the simple present tense is in the if clause, but the main clause refers to the future, right? So, although it is in simple present tense, but it refers to the future, right? But the verb, when you will choose the verb, you will use both the verbs in simple present tense. So, this is for an open condition. If something happens, the other thing may happen as a result. If something happens, the other thing can happen as a result. If something happens, the other thing will happen as a result, right? So type 0 was both if clause and main clause were in simple present tense, but it was for general truths or habitual actions. Similarly, type 1 is both if clause and main clause. They are in simple present tense, but they are used as an open condition, right? And it is also used in the main clause. It is also used with the base form is used with the will. Type 2. Simple past in the if clause and would plus base form in the main clause. So the if clause is in the simple past tense, and the main clause we use would along with the base form of verb. We can also use could or might in place of would. If we left early, we would get there in time. If she studied hard, she might get a distinction. If I were you, I would refuse the offer. If I spoke Urdu, my job would be much easier. Now this is for when we're talking about improbable conditions, right? Or unreal situations. If I were you, I would refuse the offer. If we left early, we would get there in time. So when there are improbable conditions or unreal situations, we use type 2, which is the if clauses in the simple past tense, and the main clause we have would along with the base form of verb. Simple past in the if clause refers to the present or the future and not the past. Type 3. Past perfect in the if clause and would plus have plus past participle in the main clause. So the main clause has would, have and past participle, and past perfect is in the if clause. We can also use could or might in place of would. If we had got the first metro, we would have got there early. She would have come if you had invited her. If she had studied like him, she could have got distinction. In the sentence B, we have the main clause first and the conditional clause later. So if she had studied like him, she could have got a distinction. Here, the past perfect is used to refer to something that did not happen. We express what the result would have been if the action had happened. So, the if clause is in the past perfect tense, and the main clause we have would, have along with the past participle. This is used when something did not happen, right? So if we had got the metro, we would have got there early. So we did not get the metro. She would have come if you had invited. You did not invite her. If she had studied, she could have got distinction. She did not study. So for the situations when something did not happen, in those scenarios, we use type 3, right? So type 0 we use for universal truths. Type 1 we use when we are talking in the simple present tense and we're talking about the result that may happen in the future. It is like an open condition. Type 2 is like for the improbable conditions or unreal situations. If I were you, if we left early, so those are the improbable situations. And type 3 are for those when the situations, they did not happen, when the situation did not take place. That is when we use type 3. So that was all about conditional sentences and verb forms in conditional sentences. Before we go, let us do a quick recap. There are two parts in a conditional sentence, the if clause and the main clause. Conditional sentences are used to show how one action depends on the other. There are 4 types of conditionals, type 0, 1, 2 and 3. Type 0 is the most common one, but type 1, 2 and 3 we use them in different situations. Type 1 is used when there is an open condition. Type 2 is used when we are in unreal situations, when we're talking about improbable conditions. And type 3 when something did not happen. So that was all about it. Thank you so much for staying with us and stay tuned for our next video lecture. Till then, keep revising.